She saw a king in you, not for who you are, but for the role she needed filled. And you played it, until the crown turned to chains. You felt it in her eyes, didn't you? That flicker, hope, or maybe hunger. You thought it meant she saw you, but it wasn't you. It was an outline, a role waiting to be filled. She didn't fall for the man in front of her. She fell for the idea, the fantasy, the version of you that only existed in her mind. And the moment you stepped out of character, she didn't rewrite the script, she replaced the actor. Carl Jung tried to warn you, not with cozy TED Talk, wisdom, but with the razor edge of a man who spent decades mapping the ghosts inside the human mind. He called it the animus, a masculine phantom living inside every woman, unseen, unchecked, projecting itself onto real men, casting them like extras in a film they never auditioned for. You were never chosen. You were summoned. That charm she saw in you, not yours, it was hers, reflected back in the fantasy she constructed. And when you stopped playing along, she didn't grieve the man, she grieved the illusion. And you called it love. You thought being desired meant being understood. You heard her say, "You're different." But you were just another mask she asked to wear. When the dream cracks, you're left confused, ashamed, wondering what you did wrong. But the truth? You just stopped performing well enough to keep the illusion alive. And Jung, he didn't sugarcoat this. He called it possession. He saw it in his patients, women acting not from their own will, but from the animus, that shadow self that moralizes, argues, controls, unintegrated, untamed. And men, you fall for it every damn time. Because you were trained to, taught to chase validation, taught to earn your worth by being chosen. But that's not manhood, that's servitude. Jung called the escape, individuation, becoming whole within yourself. Not through applause, not through affection, but through solitude, through fire. And most men, they never start that path, because it's not romantic, it's not marketable, it's brutal. You'll have to meet the weak parts, the ones you buried, the ones that make you flinch, and you'll have to stop blaming her for not seeing you and start seeing yourself. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. You don't become a man by being chosen. You become a man by choosing yourself. And the man who has seen his own shadow, who has walked through the wreckage of his own illusions, he doesn't need applause. He doesn't need her to get it. He's not seduced by projections. He writes his own lines. But most men, they'd rather wear the mask than face the silence that comes with taking it off. They call it love. Jung called it something else. Self-betrayal. A man who bends into what she wants, loses all shape of who he is. He smiles, agrees, performs until one day, he forgets who he was before he became her fantasy. And women, they sense it. Oh, they feel it more than you ever will. The moment you become predictable, obedient, fully available, you stop being desirable. Why? Because the feminine instinct isn't drawn to comfort, it's drawn to mystery, to danger, to the man she cannot define. And here's the paradox. You'd rather be fake than be alone. You'd rather betray yourself than risk being unloved. But until you embrace solitude, real, raw, terrifying solitude, you'll never be free. Jung said it best. You must die before you die. Let the false version burn, so something real can be born. But that birth, it's not beautiful, it's lonely, it's cold, it's mocked. People will call you distant, cold, arrogant, even cruel. Because when you see truth, you stop playing nice. You become the mirror, and nobody likes the mirror when it shows them what they refuse to see. Jung studied this. He saw how most women are trained to avoid their own shadows, to believe they are pure, intuitive, complete. But without integrating the animus, they remain controlled by it, projecting, moralizing, blaming. And you think you'll be the one to save her, the one she finally sees clearly. But that's not how projection works. She's not choosing you, she's choosing a myth that you were cast to play. And when you stop fitting the role, she turns cold. She turns angry, she turns blind. Not because you failed her, but because you failed to fulfill the fantasy. She never told you she was chasing, and that's the cruelest twist. You didn't betray her, you just stopped being the illusion, and she couldn't forgive you for it. She didn't betray you, she just dropped the soul you asked her to carry. They call it love, you called it fate, but Jung called it what it really was, possession. And like a man under a spell, you kept walking into the fire, hoping this time it would feel like home, but it never did. Because you never stopped to ask the one question that could have saved you. What if I'm the one creating this pattern? You blamed her. Said she was manipulative, cold, confusing, shallow. But Jung would have stared right through you and asked, why did you let her choose you? Why did you offer your soul to a woman who never asked to carry it? See, the man who never faces his inner feminine becomes a prisoner to hers. You weren't a victim, you were a volunteer. You signed up for the performance because pretending was easier than facing the void inside. She gave you a role. You played it, smiling on cue, saying the right lines, holding in the truth so she wouldn't leave. But that ache in your chest, that whisper that told you something was wrong, that was your soul asking you to stop performing. And right here, most men check out. This is where comfort dies and responsibility is born. Because Jung didn't hand out cheat codes. No alpha male tips, no 30-day transformations. He gave you the real work. The lonely work. The terrifying work. Sit in the silence. Until your illusions begin to crack. Until the voice in your head that says you are nothing without her finally shuts up or dies trying. That voice will fight. It will tell you to chase her, to win her back, to prove your worth. But Jung's work, it whispers something dangerous. The man who can live without her is finally free. Not cold, not cruel, just rooted, solid, unafraid. He no longer plays a role, no longer seeks applause, no longer bends to be loved. And here's the paradox, that's when women start chasing you. Because you need them, but because you don't. They feel it. Even if they can't explain it, your presence makes them uneasy because you no longer play by their rules. You are no longer buyable, changeable, manipulable. You have stepped off their stage, and now they don't know what to do with you. She'll say, you're too distant, you're too much in your head, you're emotionally unavailable. But what she really means is, I can't control you anymore. You see, the moment you stop performing, you become dangerous. Because you reflect truth, and people hate the mirror when it shows them their masks. Jung warned us, the individuated man, the man who becomes whole, he will not be celebrated. He will be mocked, feared, misunderstood. Because he is no longer manageable, and nothing terrifies people more than a man they cannot control. And the funny part, the same people who once begged for your attention will begin to resent your freedom, because they see what they lost, someone who used to orbit their need. And when you no longer orbit, they spin. They say, you've changed. But all you've done is become real. Jung once joked, the gods became diseases. What was once divine possession now gets diagnosed as neurosis. So when a man says, she's my everything, what he really means is, I refuse to carry my own soul, and she was never meant to carry it for you. That's why she dropped it, and it shattered, and you felt betrayed. But it wasn't betrayal, it was a gift. Because now, you stand alone with the truth. And you have two options, blame her, or build yourself. You can become one of those bitter men who mock women, swear them off, point fingers, and hide behind rage. Or you can do what Jung demanded, turn inward, face your ghost, hold your own weight. Because the woman you've been chasing is just a reflection of the part of you abandoned. Until you reclaim it, every relationship will be performance. Every love will be theater. But when you do the work, when you meet the feminine inside you, instead of outsourcing it, you stop chasing women. You stand still, unshaken. And from that place, you attract a different kind of woman. Not one looking for a savior, but one who has already saved herself. She won't flood you with fantasy. She won't seduce you with drama. She won't ask you to perform. She will walk beside you, whole, aware, real. And when that happens, you'll feel it instantly. She won't try to complete you. She'll recognize you as a man who did the work and met himself in the fire. And her presence won't feel like a high or a fix or a fantasy. It will feel like truth. The kind of truth that demands nothing but offers everything. Because it's not born of need, it's born of freedom. But let me be clear, most men won't make it here. They'll settle for the role, for the mask, for the applause. They'll keep performing because it's easier than facing who they really are. But if you dare to strip it all away, layer by layer, lie by lie, you will reach the edge of something brutal and beautiful. You will meet yourself. And when that happens, women will no longer define you. They will no longer be the mirror you used to feel like a man. They will become something else entirely: partners, not prizes; mirrors, not mothers; allies, not saviors. And for the first time, you will love them, not because you need to, but because you choose to. Final line bridge to section 3. Carl Jung didn't leave you a map. He left you a mirror. And now, it's time to look. He left you a warning, and he left you a choice. A warning that any man who refuses to confront himself will live as a prisoner of projections, especially the ones cast by women. But Jung also gave you a challenge. Walk the path, not the easy one, the popular one, but the brutal, sacred path of individuation. Stop blaming her for the role you signed up for. Stop chasing completion in the reflection of her eyes. Stop waiting to be chosen, because the man who chooses himself fully, unapologetically, relentlessly, that man cannot be controlled. He cannot be seduced by illusion. He cannot be reduced to a script. He becomes the author of his own life. So if you made it this far, if this message cracks something open inside, you don't scroll away. Don't forget this like another passing reel. Choose yourself now. And when you do help another man, wake up. Like this video, share it, subscribe. Not for me, not for the algorithm, but for the next man. Still lost in the lie, still waiting to be set free. Because truth spreads one soul at a time. And right now, you are the mirror.